Today I have an SAT writing and language tip that I want to share with you. So anytime that I see that I have one word or two words or a series of words at the beginning of a sentence followed by a comma on the SAT writing section, as I do in question 31, what I'm going to look to do is make sure that I'm connecting or transitioning from my previous sentence, which I'm going to underline in blue. It says Texas researchers found that PAs lend cost-efficient, widely appreciated services in underserved areas. And then with my following sentence. Okay, so I want to connect my previous sentence to my following sentence, which says rural-based PAs often provide a broader spectrum of such services than do their urban and suburban counterparts, possibly as a consequence of the limited pool of rural-based physicians. So whenever I see that I have one word, two words, three words, four words, or a series of words at the beginning of my sentence followed by a comma, I know that what it's looking to test me on the SAT writing section is my ability to transition between my previous my previous sentence into my new sentence, or link my previous sentence to my new sentences. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So anytime that I have one word, two words, three words followed by a comma at the beginning of a sentence, I am looking to either, number one, transition from my previous sentence to my current sentence. So from previous sentence to current sentence, or, so we got that, or number two, link. And that can be and or, right? They can do both of these things at the same time. If you have the correct transition word, it can do both of them. And link that previous sentence to my current sentence. So link that previous sentence to my current sentence. So those are the two things that I'm looking to do if I see that I have something like in addition followed by a comma, or however followed by a comma, or anything like that. I want to link that previous sentence to my current sentence, or transition from that previous sentence to my current sentence. Okay, so that's the big tip that I have here for you today. So I want to quick run through that with question 31 because I think it provides a good example of what to look for. So if I read that sentence before it, it says a recent review of the scholarly literature by Texas researchers found that PAs lend cost-efficient, widely appreciated services in underserved areas. Okay, so that's a positive thing that physician assistants do. They're lending cost-efficient and widely appreciated services in underserved areas. So that's a positive thing. So now I'm going to look at my next sentence. I see that it says rural-based PAs often provide a broader spectrum of such services. Okay, providing a broader spectrum of services is a positive thing than do their urban and suburban counterparts, possibly as a consequence of the limited pool of rural-based physicians. So that's also talking about a positive thing that these rural-based physician assistants are doing. Okay, so we're talking about two things that physician assistants are doing well. So if we're talking about two positives, then that's in addition, right? Those two things aren't contrasting each other, they are adding on to each other. So our correct answer for 31 would be A. Now, keep in mind, the word thus, that would indicate a causal relationship. Now, what came in that previous sentence is not causing what occurs in the next sentence. Now, because what came in the previous sentence is not causing what comes in the next sentence, I can't use the word thus, or the word therefore, or the word consequently, or as a result, because all of those would indicate a causal relationship. Now, what about despite this? Well, what came in my previous sentence and what came in my next sentence, right? It's not despite the current sentence, the sentence in green. The sentence in green does not occur despite what the sentence in blue said. So C would be incorrect because that's not linking my two sentences together with a correct transition or correct linking word or linking phrase. Now, what about on the other hand? Well, on the other hand, that's indicating some sort of contrast or some sort of withdraw from one thing to the next, right? And in this case, there's no contrast or no withdrawal. All that it is something that is in addition to the other. So this big tip right here for the SAT writing section is anytime that you see at the beginning of a sentence you have one word, two words, three words underlined followed by a comma, you need to understand that you're being tested to transition from that previous sentence to the current sentence and or link that previous sentence's ideas to that current sentence's ideas. So that's one big thing that you want to know for that SAT writing and language section. And once you identify that, what you want to do is make sure you understand the main idea of that previous sentence and how it relates to that next sentence. Sometimes it'll be something that's in addition to something else. Sometimes it will be a contrast, and if it's a contrast, you want to use something like however or on the other hand, right? Sometimes it'll be something that is a causal relationship. Something in a previous sentence is causing the thing that happens in that current sentence. In that case, you want to use something like consequently, as a result, thus, therefore, something like that. Sometimes the previous sentence will be something that was negative, and then that next sentence will be something that was positive, and it was in spite of what happened before. In that case, you want to use something like despite this or in spite of as your transition. So understand transition words, understand what transition words mean. Another thing I do want to add on, for in addition, anytime you have two ideas that are adding to each other, Let's say that you don't have in addition as an option, you don't have additionally as an option. Another two that could work there would be furthermore and moreover. So those are two other words that you should know as well. So hopefully that was helpful in understanding how to transition between sentences and how to look and identify that question type. So you'll be able to identify it by that underlining of those first two or one word at the beginning of a sentence followed by a comma is how you can identify that type of question. So hopefully that was helpful. If it was, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, make sure to have a good day.